ranking all 8 Transformers movies from worst to best. Obviously, last place goes to Transformers The Last Knight. This film had so much retcons, plot points, and I got so bored watching this movie. And yet, this ruins the entire franchise. Next up, I got Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. I know some people like this movie, but for me, it's my least favorite Transformers movie. I only like the action in this movie, like the Egypt battle, the opening fight scene, and the forest fight scene. But for the rest of the movie, it focused way too much on the humans, and it's my least favorite. 6th place goes to Transformers Age of Extinction. This movie is almost 3 hours long, and I also felt bored watching it. I don't like the human characters in this movie, and the story was overlapping. There are some good moments in this movie that I enjoy, like the Dinobots in the final battle, and the main villain, Lockdown, was the best part. 5th place goes to Transformers Rise of the Beast. Now, some people are divided on this movie, some people like it and some don't, but personally, I like this movie. I love how the Autobots felt like actual characters instead of background characters with the addition of the Maximals. Mirage in this movie is my favorite character, and Scourge was a menacing villain. There was one thing I wish this movie utilized more was the Maximals. I wish they had more screen time. But nonetheless, I thoroughly enjoyed Rise of the Beast, and it's one of my top 5. 4th place goes to Bumblebee. It's a refreshing reboot to the Bayverse films, and it's one of the better Transformers movies. I like the chemistry between Hailee Steinfeld and Bumblebee, and the opening scene in Cybertron was definite peak. 3rd place goes to Transformers Dark of the Moon. It's an improvement from the second movie, and it's one of the best action movies ever made. Every time I rewatch this movie, I just skip the first act, but once you get to the second and third act, that's where the action takes place, from the music, the action, and everything was just so rewatchable. And the villain Sentinel Prime is one of my favorite villains in the entire Transformers franchise. 2nd place goes to Transformers 1 from the Bayverse. It's visually stunning, so much nostalgia, and it's one of my childhood memories of watching Transformers for the first time. And in 1st place is Transformers 1. This is now the best Transformers movie ever made. It's fully set on Cybertron and explains the story of how Optimus Prime and Megatron became brothers to enemies, and this is everything you want in a Transformers movie. And I gotta say, this is basically the Spider-Verse of the Transformers franchise. And I recommend you watching this movie, and I hope this gets a sequel. What's your ranking?